right, so moving forward on this one, same thing. Oregon motorcycle, we're gonna have a possible path of travel. Oh, we definitely do have a path of travel.
See the white line, you retard?
Oh. So this is a great view from somebody behind. Now, this motorcycle rider is typically going to be the one that we have that point of view from. We have a good point of view from behind here. So this is what it looks like if we get next to that vehicle and we don't utilize our escape paths. Look how close we are on this. So there's that path of travel. We're merging into us. This motorcycle rider could have moved over to this lane and got himself out of that situation. And really, when I say this lane, I mean like right where my finger is, not where this car is, but like just right there, just a little bit, maybe on the other side, or just move over all the way in our lane to like right there. That's all you have to do for positioning for safety. But look what it looks like. We're safe though, right? So that's good, right? That's safe. Here's the thing. Look where he's at and look how he's safe. All we had to do is get into a lane filtering position to keep ourselves safe. So when I see that, and I see all these vehicles coming up and a possible path of travel violation, where should I position myself for safety prior to an incident to where I have to adapt or I have to navigate and do a red stage maneuver? I'm going to position myself off to the sides of each lane, give myself that space cushion and position myself over here, just in case a dum-dum decides to creep in. Now, a lot of people say, well, stand or position yourself right here so you protect your lane. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. How are you protecting your lane? Let me know, class. How are you protecting your lane? Are you preventing with a force field so that no vehicles can come in your lane when you're over here on the sides? You have a force field, dual magnetic, two negative, magnets. Yeah, okay. It's not going to work. I'm tired of hearing that. Protect your lane. Just start off over here. We're on bikes. We can be nimble. Get yourself out of that situation. Whoops.
See the white line, you retard?
That's not nice. All right, so we're moving. Hey, intersection. We got a Grom, not a high CC bike. We can't accelerate very hard. Green light for us. It's not always green light though, right? Is that what we're doing? What's the issue? Oh my gosh. Non-issue galore.
Hey, you ran that red light back there.
Yeah, I committed.
I got that on camera too.
Okay.
There's a cop sitting right there. So if I was a real just call you in because you almost hit me when you blew through that light.
Almost hit him when he blew through that red light. Well, let's take a look. I can't reach. Can somebody get me a stool? Hey. I'm gray on gray, everybody. Almost hit him. Almost hit him, everybody. Holy crap, guys. This was this was so close. I almost want to consider this just a straight crash. That was so close. Oh my gosh.
Red light back there.
Yeah, I committed.
I got that on camera too.
Oh, did they?
There's a cop sitting right there. So if I was a real just call you in because you almost hit me when you blew through that light.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
You don't see it though when you're trying to blow the light, right? You don't see stuff like that. If there would have been a bike on the right coming out right, you might have killed him, man.
All right, so we're moving, going 80 something. I'm gonna say kilometers an hour. Does not look fast at all. Whoa, dumb driver. That's gonna be the greatest example of knowing your 360 situation awareness, guys. You need to be checking your mirrors, checking your blind spots, checking everything, even when there's nobody around you, just in case dum-dums like that. If you start to see lights or a vehicle get, here's small, right? I'm small. It's getting bigger and bigger in your mirror, bigger and bigger in your mirror, bigger and bigger in your mirror. That means they're getting closer. Okay. All right. Same thing, side of the vehicle. There it is. Good job, Miguel. Okay. We're moving on again to some more pedestrians. Hey, pedestrians are idiots. I'm sorry, guys. They just get out. Pedestrians typically are like, you know what? I have the right of way. I'm serious. I've known many people that will just walk out into an intersection and be like, "What? I got the right of way. They have to stop." How many people do you know that say that? I'm serious. How many people do you know that say that? They have to stop. I got the right of way. I'd be like, well, once if they don't see you in the first place and you got hit, does it matter? All right, good lane positioning.
I don't know, man. It just.
I'm gonna tell you right now, though, Hef 520. Ooh, man, talking shit locally here in Tucson. Just saying. But here's the thing. I won't talk shit about you. I'm gonna say you have good lane positioning right here. You have good line of sight. Being this close, that's perfectly fine. I have a feeling that this person might want to come back, but you know what? Not a big deal. Might not actually happen. If they do, you can go ahead and go up through here. Let's see what happens.
But I don't know, man. It just seems. Are you gonna go?
Does he have to?
Are you gonna go?
Ah, okay. Right.
Oh my god, dude. Guy flicks me off because he's not paying attention.
Cool.
All right, you know what? Nope.
Anders, can we get a refreshment of all the stages? So white stages up on the board. You can go ahead and take a look, you know. All right, so white stage, you're completely zoned out. The only time you're really zoned out is when you're daydreaming or you're actually really are dreaming because you're asleep. So zoned out, you typically only want to do that when you're at home in a safe environment. So I usually white stage when I'm on the pot. So yellow stage is when you're completely zoned in, okay? So that's that flow state. So if you're ever playing a video game and all of a sudden you're just like locked in and you're like, man, I'm on a roll, boom, boom, boom. You're like scanning things, you're just moving through things. Yellow stage is the stage you want to be in when you're on the bike. So you're constantly scanning things, you're having a great time, but you're going through things. You don't have to be hyper energetic. You could just be relaxed and also look around, and therefore you're prepared. So good situation awareness. What I like to do for yellow stage, guys, and this is a good tip right here, is I like to go from my left mirror, straight, right mirror, and then go straight, and then kind of scan things, go back to left, go to right, do head checks. And I'm constantly just doing this, looking around, keeping that focal point moving so I'm not stuck on something. Because once you kind of just stare off into space and you stare at one spot for a while, you zone out. So I like to keep my eyes moving. Orange stage, guys. Orange stage is when something bad starts to look like it's about to happen. So you're getting up to a corner. We already understand corners are dangerous for motorcycle riders, so I like to go into orange stage for corners. It's a potential threat, a potential hazard that could be in my path. Could be a blind corner, could be a corner that I have good vision, but you know there could be stuff on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm in orange stage. When I'm in orange stage, I am prepped and ready for any type of emergency swerve or emergency braking, or I am on hyper alert. I'm almost paranoid, pretty much paranoid, to where I'm scanning constantly, like even faster, almost like the adrenaline goes up a little bit. Same thing for intersections. So an intersection like this, I'm concerned because there's a lot of vehicles that want to come out in front of me. You know, turning left is what kills a lot of motorcyclists. Turning right, same thing, you know, possible path of travel, but definitely anything in intersection. So intersection, corners, orange stage. And then it could be anything that puts you into orange stage. So you could be riding down the road and there's a possible intersection like a right here. So we see this right here, off to the right, coming out of that Chewy's. That's an intersection, possible path to travel. So somebody coming out of there could cause you to go into orange stage. Anything. I see a ball bouncing across the road in a neighborhood. Guess what? Usually a kid's chasing it. Boom, orange stage. I'm prepped and ready for a kid that wants to run out and try to get that ball. I say that because that's how a lot of kids die in neighborhoods. I've seen it. So red stage, let's go to that one real quick so I can get off orange. Red stage is when you go into an emergency maneuver. So if you see that ball start rolling out and you see a kid now run past it or run towards it, you might have to do some emergency braking or emergency swerving if it's really close. Same thing with a car turning left in front of you. Same thing in the middle of a corner and there's a big pothole in your line. You're gonna have to do some type of emergency swerve to get around it, but then you also have to maintain your curve. So that's what you have to watch out for. Brown stage is when you're supposed to do those things, that red stage maneuver of swerving, but you panicked. And it could have been because you had target fixation, you have no training, so you just slammed the brakes, you dumped the bike because you lost traction. It could be anything and everything that is not what you're supposed to do. And it's called brown stage because you might poo-poo your pantalones. Hopefully that helped you out, man.
Sorry, this is happening.
Nope. The white SUV is in the lane right and should continue on it. That's what it says right here. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Good job with the braking.
I'm real good. qué?
He acknowledges.
Vas a hacer un pegado en el cruce, tío. ¿No me estás viendo qué? Me voy en moto. Ten cuidado, cojones.
All right, let's go back to that one real quick. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on these ones right now. All right, so same thing, 360 situational awareness. As soon as you see this, as soon as somebody gets in, they're in that right lane. Right now, take a look at where we're at. We're in the blind spot. So it's not their job to keep us safe and never move into our lane. It's our job not to get hit by dum-dums like this. That is what it means by being invisible, okay?
I'm not.
So right here, blind spot, everybody. This is what we got to be careful about, okay? So once we see this, do we have a powerful enough bike to accelerate out of it? Do we have space cushions and escape routes to the left? It looks like we do. We might be able to accelerate through. But here's the simplest thing that you could possibly do, and Daniel said it earlier today. Not me, somebody else in the chat. Roll off the throttle or apply progressive brake pressure. Slow down to allow this person in because they already decided to do it. And look how many lug nuts they have. They're going to win. The lug nut rule, guys. Law of gross tonnage. It doesn't just work for ships in the water. It works for everything.
Tu muerto. ¿No me veo qué?
I don't ride the mountains at 30.
Vas a hacer un pegado en el cruce, tío. ¿No me estás viendo qué?
Eric goes, exactly same thing, dude. I've seen kids get hit by cars. I've worked on kids that have gotten hit by cars. Tire tracks across their chest. Can't breathe. Having to do. Yeah. All right, moving on this one. So same thing, blind spot, blind spot. Okay. Good staggering position. Stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. Now we're in the blind spot again. Watch out. They might come into our lane. Looks like that person in the right up ahead is slower than our traffic. He's going to want to get into... There it is. There it is. Accelerate or decelerate. Accelerate or decelerate. Get out of there. Amadeus. I love that name. Any advice riding in tunnels? I just arrived from a city ride, and it was my first time entering tunnels with the sun up. I couldn't see much, and it was scary as fuck. So are you saying because you had like a tinted visor and it got dark? I mean, just pop the lid open a little bit. Now, the problem is when you pop the lid open, let's say you pop it up to here. So it's like down here, you pop it up to here, possibility of eye injuries. And it's a no bueno situation when you get like a bug or something in your eye. So what you could do is kind of tilt it down. And your main thing is, remember, you need to look for those patterns. So if you have a good space cushion, you should be good. So when you look at that through the bottom crack, kind of like a visor in a car, what you can do is just look for the road hazards with that vision. But then you need to recognize that, you know, if you see like all of a sudden an object kind of come over here, you can go ahead and do your stuff. Remember, you just always plan your ride, position yourself for safety, look for, you know, hazards, you know, locate those hazards. But the main thing with positioning for safety is so that you have a good space cushion in the first place. Buy yourself time with a big space cushion. It's a tough situation. If you have, you know, a clear visor, it shouldn't be a problem. But, you know, if it's sunny out and then all of a sudden it gets dark, ooh, bad issue. And that can also play into when you're riding in the mountains, you have a bunch of trees and they block the sun all of a sudden. They give you sun, block the sun, give you sun. It can really mess with your vision. The only thing you can really do for your situation with tunnels is having like a transition lens type visor or having a drop down visor that pops back up. There's a lot of things like that. But I don't have that. I'm pretty sure you don't either. So when you have the visor down, just pop it up halfway to where it's still blocking anything to hit your eye, but you have this small section right here to where you can look at road hazards, but then you have like this vision of peripheral, non-focused vision where you can still see patterns and you can still give yourself a good space cushion. If you had 50K for DDFM, what would be something you'd make happen, Angel Crisis? That's a tough one. I would start laying the foundation for something that I truly wanted to. So I'd probably hire somebody or a couple people, or I'd start putting things in place, Angel Crisis. I do want to have a local place, like I want to buy some land. Okay, let's just start with that. You know, what I would use that money for is for the foundation for this next thing I'm about to say. So I'd figure out whatever that foundation is with that 50,000. But I'm going to let you know what I kind of want to do right now. So what I want to do for 2021 or 2022, and I say that I'm trying my best to make it happen in 2021, is to get some land. I want to buy a piece of land, a commercial piece of land, and I want to pave it. And I want that to be an area for people to just show up and do some motorcycle training, and also be a place for me to host motorcycle training, and then also a safe place for those that want to do motorcycle stunting. as much as I give crap to stunters and all these things because I feel like it's unsafe, I do need to take a step back and put my own ego at check. And I do also need to tell myself, you know what? This is something that they're choosing to do, and this is something that they want to do. And maybe there isn't an opportunity to do it as safe as possible. Think about, I kind of go to the same concept as skateboarders. Is at the very beginning of all these things, people were skateboarding everywhere, rollerblading, whatever it is, skateboarding, destroying property, being a little unsafe, but it's a huge passion. It's something that's not going to go away. And the moment skate parks came up, it made it to where everyone had a safe environment to do so. It was their thing. They got to have it. They got to take care of it. They took great pride in keeping the skate parks, clean and free of debris and their own set of rules that is more so inclusivity and then more so into teaching the next generation. So that's kind of what I want to do when it comes to getting a piece of land and then paving it and then having an area for people to practice these things in a safer environment. And then maybe it's going to be more of an inclusive thing to where people that never wanted to stunt or never heard about stunting or cared about stunting to have an environment to where they do have good mentors and teachers that help them out. And I also want to come from a position of just the straight up motorcycle safety and the same concept for my motorcycle safety. So now you have two things, stunting and safety. And then maybe there's a third and fourth and fifth thing that a plot of land with pavement can really do. That is what I would do with $50,000 is that I would start laying the foundation to make that happen. And that is something I've been thinking about for 2 years now. And just now recently it's almost like, "Oh, I could actually do that." These are just ideas that I put pins in. I don't have the logistics and resources yet, but my family's taken care of, and that was my first priority. And now that that's taken care of, I'm gonna start, or not gonna, I have been. I'm starting to move towards taking care of everybody else. We did the DDFM crew campouts, and that kind of came from the idea of I wanted to bring men together to start sharing their stories because a lot of men, obviously, 3/4 of all people that commit suicide are men, so it's a very high ratio for men. I feel like men need a place to be shoulder to shoulder and have conversations and be open, and that's kind of where the DDFM crew campout kind of evolved from. I still want to go back to the part where even on that plot of land, maybe have a shop there where monthly meetings of men can get together and just kind of share their stories. Hey man, how was your month? How did things go? How are things with your wife? You said last month you're having troubles. Did you take the advice or did you work through some of these things? Like things like that. Men don't get that. Men do not have that. Which books do you recommend for improving writing skills? Huh. There's not that many books for the improvement of writing skills. I'm gonna say, as much as this is where my ego needs to just be like, you know what? It's not about me. Yeah, I don't care too much about Moto Jitsu. I used to, and I helped him out, and I felt like I got a little backstabbed. But the thing is, he helps out a lot of people. Honestly, I think his book, his first book, the Moto Jitsu, the belt training system, that's a pretty good book just to get you started and to really help you improve your system. And really, it's a progressive overload. It helps you move through, from beginner to more advanced stuff. I think it's good. I don't. We have two different training styles. We definitely have two different training styles, and it kind of rubs me the wrong way in some ways. But the thing is, it's not about me. It's about you guys. So if you get value from it, and if you're able to learn from it, and you're able to learn from both or whatever, or you like him more than me, that's perfectly fine. All I care about at the end of the day is that you're safe. So whether it's from me or not, I don't care. So I think for the best bang for your buck, get his book until I make my own. And then I think the next thing for the bang for your buck would be Jerry Palladino's book and program. I think both of those are really good. I think both of those are really good. Jerry Palladino, his Ride Like a Pro system, probably his is better. His is probably not better. It's more comprehensive. You're going to get a lot from his book and training program. And you're just going to get down dirty with Moto Jitsu. You know what I mean? So you get benefits from both. So I'd get both. I do have both. I do have both. They're both good. They're both really good. hopefully that answered your question. And here's the thing, guys, and I'm starting to see, um, ALMO. Not trying to further any drama. If you want to, you might explain what your problem is with Moto Jiu-Jitsu. Just curious. I it really comes down to two different training styles. Um, Egos getting in the way, and as you can hear from me, I'm telling you, like I'm recommending his book. So my ego is in check right now. His ego kind of got in the way, and I agree with what Grimbeard is saying right there, right above what you said, and kind of made me feel like I wasn't like I'm not a coach. It's like, dude, I am. So I don't want to get too much into it. Long story short, I didn't like it. I decided to block that out of my life, blocked him off my Instagram, all that stuff, and decided, I'm going to focus on the forward, focus on what I have, focus on you guys, and focus on improving myself. There's no point in detracting myself. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, if he's able to provide something for you guys, that's a great question though. And that's the thing is, I will do you. All you asked about was books, and I brought it up. So don't worry about it, ALMAO. I love your name. Depression, anxiety, plus panic attacks are not the best, but thanks for all your support. Hey, Luke, it's not the best. It really isn't. But here's kind of what I love about motorcycling or anything that you're passionate about is that with depression and anxiety, okay, right away, that is you thinking about stuff outside of what's happening right now. Depression is what you're thinking about in the past. Okay, so past things that has caused you pain or sadness or hurt is bringing the depression. Things in the future that you're worried about is causing anxiety. So past, future, what's the last thing that we have in the moment? So if you can find something, whether it's motorcycling, video games, walking, working out, whatever it is that makes you focus on in the moment, that is your reprieve of your depression, anxiety. That's why a lot of motorcycle riders love motorcycling because it gives them that meditation from the anxiety and depression, from thinking in the future, thinking in the past. And that's what it is. It's meditation. So if you find anything that's meditative, so for me, it's walking my dog twice a day, morning and evening, which I'm going to do after this. That is meditative because I have music going and all I'm focusing on is foot, 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 walking. And motorcycle riding, all I'm doing is focusing on side of the vehicle, intersection, corner, orange stage, yellow stage, orange stage, yellow stage, scan, 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 scan. I'm not thinking about in the past or the future. I'm in the zone. That's why you're in yellow zone. And it could be anything, video games, boom. But the problem is once you stop, so you get off your bike and you go inside, it comes back. When you stop playing video games, it comes back. When you stop walking, it comes back. And that's where a lot of people have a lot of problems. And it's where I had a huge problem. So I didn't know how to handle me hanging out with the family. I didn't know how to handle me doing anything outside of these activities. So I would abuse my activities. I would focus on riding all day. I would focus on video games all day. I would go and work out 5 times a day. I would do all these things that were coping mechanisms from thinking in the past and thinking in the future. A lot of people do drugs. A lot of people drink alcohol. A lot of people abuse different things. A lot of people abuse their family because they put it on them and then they can focus on the hate. That's a problem. Estevan, I think that's how I said it, right? Wilson, welcome to the crew. Um, so the thing that I did was I was an angry person. It's easier to focus on the anger than to focus on the past and in the future and then fix those problems. So I started to realize this was a problem of mine. So I sought therapy. I went and sought a counselor. I got very lucky. Got very lucky. Not all counselors are the same. Not all therapists are the same. And I went and sought a therapist and got some tools to where when I wasn't on the bike or on a walk and I was in the day to day stuff, I was able to now zone in on those tools and hyper focus on the tools to allow me to cope with whatever it was that was going on. So the main thing is cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm going to tell you that right now. You need to change your habits, develop different habits where you're not thinking of the past and present. And I still struggle with it today. I've gotten a lot better. 2020, the reason why I feel like 2020 was the best year of my life wasn't because of YouTube. It was because of my own therapy that I've been having throughout the year. And that is what's helped me out with my own issues which then allowed me to free up time from thinking of the future and past and to think of now, to now develop even more on the channel, to develop even more of a relationship with my family, to develop more of my passions. So your anxiety and depression, and I'm projecting a lot. So I don't want to single you out. I'm just explaining my own experiences. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to bring to the channel. You know, I'm not just a motorcycle safety channel. I want to keep you guys safe channel. And whatever it is I can do, that's what I'm going to do. And if like I said, male depression kills way too many people. It's why the Movember Foundation Distinguished Gentleman's Right is so near and dear to my heart, is because of all those things. So the CBT is going to help you out. You need to really focus on the tools and how to develop it. 2020 has been amazing because of that, and I can't wait to really keep working on myself so that I can help others. I really hope that was a question that I just went off on.